Welcome. So I rebuilt my computer yesterday in terms of like just re-downloaded Windows. So if I sound different, it's because OBS lost all my like filters and stuff that I had on my microphone. So just let me know if my microphone sounds like shit, and I will try and fix that. Anyway, so we're working on adding curves. So what I've been having issues with doing my like testing out biomes and stuff is that I actually don't know what the curve that the biome is using actually looks like. So what I was planning on doing, which I mean I should probably update the thumbnail to actually like show what we're gonna do, is when we go play debug and we hit like open debug console, I want here when I have a biome selected to have like the curve, like all the properties of the biome, and have like the easing curve and stuff like that. So effectively, we're going to be recreating the reflect implementation where we can like read through reflect, work out what reflect is doing, and then reflect it back. I also have no idea why that one set of chunks isn't loading. It's a bit weird. That is very weird, actually. Oh, apparently nothing's loading. That's uber weird. Let's see if that's any better. I just tweaked some of the settings so that it uses the better encoding and whatnot. So hopefully it won't be dropping frames as much now, and that the stream can continue. So we'll find out if that worked. It's still dropping about 10% of frames apparently, but it's getting a much better bit rate. And also it seemed to have just been one lag spike of frames dropped, like it's still the same number of frames dropped. Okay, so plotting. Yeah. Confusing. Let's reset that. See if it drops frames from now. And it dropped another 59 frames. 190. Okay. Strange. Oh no, it's the total frames, so it's dropped no frames. It throws me off that it does that. All right. So UI. Like widget. Maybe. I don't remember how to do this. So I don't remember how to plot this stuff. So somewhere there's like the debug console thing. I don't remember where I put that. Is that a map? And then there's like the debug here. And this is the map debug console. Right. So unknown relationship spawn. Why has Rust Analyzer cooked itself? Cooked. Okay. Can I restart you then? Spell checker really doesn't like what I'm doing. Okay. Gotta try and work out exactly what I want to do. So I want to go like UI maybe, and then like reflect thing. How does it currently work? So I guess the better question. So I need some kind of way of knowing what exactly it's pointing at. I guess we work on just having it like render reflect, so it's gonna be like widgets. And be all like mod reflect like this. So we have like a reflect widget, and then maybe mod curve like that. So the idea is that we're going to somewhere we have like a way of spawning a test widget. I think is it in UI main or something? Yeah, spawn test widget. So we're gonna have a curve. We're gonna say let C equal easing curve new. So it's gonna start at 0, it's going to end at 1, and it's going to be a easing function is exponential. Exponential out. Okay. What are you taking? Ease function exponential. exponential out. Elastic out? No. Now that'll do. Right. That's our easing curve. The issue is that the elastic and stuff can go below and above. So like there's technically a potential for it to do so. So anyway, we're gonna spawn a node. And the node needs like a widget. And the widget has a reflect. So pub struct reflect widget. Alright, and then the reflect widget is just going to hold, for now, it's going to just be like a box dyn reflect. Alright, like that. And then from there, we'll like when we put on a reflect widget. Yeah, and then we say, hey, spawn this, and then you're going to spawn a reflect widget, which is the box new C. C dot as reflect to reflect. Alright, fine. Box new C. Fine. This needs to be a widgets. Right, widgets doesn't have it. That's what's going on. So we go back to widgets. I want to move widgets into here. Rename you mod. Like that. Okay, so we have our mod widget. We have here, then we're going to go pub use reflect widget. Right, so we have a reflect widget. And I'll initialize the private field. Reflect widget, and then you do your public apparently. Just so I can do this. Right. And then it says reflect widget is not a component. Derive component. Right. Yep, field is never read. Alright. First thing to do is I guess just do this. And we're just going to see, I think it's F11 to spawn my test widget. I don't actually remember what the, somewhere I've got like spawn test widget. What is it here? UI widget plugin. Yeah. When I hit F11, it spawned my test widget in, which has a reflect widget as its thing. Okay. So next is to go, you're a reflect widget. So this is going to require, I guess, node. I don't know. You're going to go require node. Right. So then it'll be visible. We just bring preload in. I'm an idiot. Right. So we're going to go impl reflect widget. Now I think we actually make reflect widget a read-only component. Derive read. No, this component immutable like that. So that way the on add, and then we can be like on add equals self on add, and then we go fn on add, which does deferred world and hooks. Okay, so world command entity with child. I mean that kind of works, but not really what we want. So it's going to do nothing for now. But the idea is that we will go like let reflect its app registry equals was it type registry dot resource app type registry. Right. Now I think this is type registry arc, yeah, so you do that and then you have to go let app registry equals app registry read. So this gives us the app registry. And then we can like look up specific information about that particular type. I think. So we need to make a type. Trait pub. Trait reflect widget spawn maybe? Can I make you a reflect trait? I think that's how that works. And we can do something like that. We give self and commands. Maybe. We'll call it reflect root because then we can just call this reflect widget, and then we can go I think that's how this works. It's something like that, and then you go like let f equals app registry dot get Alright, so this needs to be that item equals world dot get reflect widget root. Okay, so you have reflect widget root and ctx dot entity dot unwrap. All right, and then we go. I think you need to also be deref. Deref. So that would then be item dot type ID. Now the question is that the any type ID? We probably want the reflect type ID. I think you need to do it that way because otherwise you end up getting the type ID of this type, not this type. But that may still not work. Anyway, let some right else failed to find type registry for item.type name. Doesn't need to be partial reflect. Reflect cone. Try downcast. Dash partial reflect. Get represented type information. Something like that. And we would go like run. And then when you hit F11, it should either say nothing because it worked, or it should spit out the type information. Oh, that's not the right window to be in. Okay, so apparently the using curve F64 is not registered. But it does implement reflect. So what that means is we can go to the widget thing here and we can say there's a widget plugin, yeah, widget plugin, and we can say register type easing curve F64. Right, that should fix that one, because I think that was what its actual problem was, is saying that the easing curve isn't. Now, knowing, I think we have to then register type data as well. So when I hit F11, it didn't throw a big error. So now that that type is now registered, so we want to say something like let sum f or widget equals f dot data reflect widget else. Wait, it should be actually, might be reflect widget. Right. So it should be widget and then reflect widget else type. What does this give me? Unwrap dot name ty type. Not a widget. Okay. It's more like does not reflect widget. like that. Now I probably need to fix the fucking name there. Anyway, otherwise you're gonna say and I guess parent. So it's like widget dot get let some w equals item dot 0 else something like that. Now you're not liking that because like as reflect. There we go. So now we have a w and then we say w dot spawn. And we say world dot commands. Oh, it's probably not going to like that. Damn. And parent. Is ctx. Right. So annoyingly, we can't do this because you're going to tell me that you're borrowed somewhere else. Can't borrow more immutable because it's borrowed immutably somewhere else. Yep. Oh, that's so annoying. How do I make this work then? Maybe I just can't do it on add, which is really annoying. I guess we could just make calling spawn, which takes in parent, and then this just returns import bundle. Maybe. No. Can't be done compatible. God damn it. With function that takes in commands. That seems like a really dodgy way of doing this, but okay, fair enough. So what you do is you say spawn and take in self and entity, and then we say let apply equals that, and then we say apply world.command. Yep. Can we drop W? But where are you borrowed immutably? You mean we borrowed here? What? App registry. Yeah, can I drop the app registry as well? It should already be able to detect that I'm doing. That's very strange. Alright, anyway. So that should work. Next is to go into curve here, and then we're going to go impl use super, and then we're going to impl widget for easing curve f64 spawn. So spawn takes in parent, and then so this is gonna do some weird stuff. Technically this we should take in like world or something, because we're gonna need like access to a whole bunch of stuff. And then you just return commands. And I guess we just do this and we just say like commands.spawn a node with a width of val pixels like 200, height val pixel 200. Short background color of white, and a child of parent. I don't know if this will work because it's going to tell me that it's returning a wait, there's no field background color, that's right. Just making sure up again. Okay, background color. So I think this is going to tell me that it's not returning correct type. Expected pointer, yeah. So what if I said that you... No, because it's going to do the same thing. Like it needs to capture information. It's so annoying. How do I make you to like take in like world or something? Maybe back to here, wherever that is. Nope, it's in reflect. Right. That is widget spawn parent. It needs to take in like it needs to take in a middle reference to deferred world, but it can't because can I clone the deferred world? I think I can, but that seems dangerous. Can we like let w2 el world dot clone? No. Dot cell as unsafe world cell. Oh, okay, so let world equal w2 clone dot world. It's gonna call it unsafe. I need to get like basically just make sure that this is going to work before I fuck around spending ages trying to make it work without unsafe. But anyway, then you would just be like, can I pass in the apply with this would be this, and then like world mute world. Actually, I like giving it just commands because commands is almost always safe. I guess we just give it commands. like giving it access to other things might be considered unsafe. So we're just going to give it access to commands, and then say you return nothing. Thank you. The spawn, and then you can just say w2 dot world dot commands. And just make this unsafe. Expected function. Right, fuck you. Oh wait, right, it's here that we want to go. Unsafe. World 2, what? No, just world 2 dot world dot commands. No semicolon. And we don't need this. Apparently we don't need this. Then we can go to this bit here. So cannot borrow data in references mutable unit. Right. So effectively we're cloning the world so that we can have two mutable accesses to the world, but we're not actually having two mutable accesses because the only other mutable access we have is commands. Right. Then we come in here and say, hey, actually you take in commands. Oh wait, it does need fucking yeah, use need commands. And you need commands like this, and we say you don't return anything, you do nothing now to do that. We go back to reflect here, and we go, this is going to need taking commands parent. I guess we'll just call it root entity. And then you take in context entity. So you do this, and you go, hey. Okay. This is seeming clunky as all hell, but this is for the easing curve specifically. So we can we go like commands dot spawn. We go child of root and node size X. So width 200, position type absolute, and then no semicolon. Right. So now when we spawn it, it should, in theory, spawn a 200 by 200 box. This 200 by 200 box is going to be our image for rendering the curve, I guess. Oh, fucking hair is a mess at the moment. So we hit F11 and go, hey, you spawned the test widget in, yes? And the test widget spawned in the background. Oh, it said does not reflect widget. Yeah, of course. So to go reflect and to go, I'm going to go do plugin because I want to keep all the plugin stuff in here and say this is reflect widgets. Then we say like app let registry. We call app registry, right? And then we say registry register. No, it's registry. Also, I don't think we need it mutably because then we do this and we go dot write, and we say registry dot get add. No, like there's a way you can get data mute or something, or either with mute registry. register by value, type data, register type data. And then so we need the type and the data. So we can say we want to register type easing curve F64, and the data type is reflect widget. Hey, seems to have worked. All right, and then we go up here and we say, can you reflect widgets? We probably want to put this in the reflect widgets as well, because it does its own thing. Reflect widgets. It's probably a terrible way of structuring this, but anyway. Be like app.register. All right, did that register the type? We'll find out. Dun, 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 dun. Come on. So when I hit F11, it didn't throw an error. It spawned you in, and you have a child of this node. I don't know where that node is, because that's the concerning thing, isn't it? I mean, you're a node, and you have a size. So did it spawn it like behind you? Where'd you put it? Where's this test widget? Like, you have a node. And your computed node, and your size is 300 by 300. But you're also a child of. Oh no, this is your children. Strange. There is a test node. There's a node which has a size, I think. Maybe. Possibly. Bigger. I don't know where the hell it is. Pixels, and then to the left, we say top pixel. Alright. Yeah. It's probably invisible because I didn't give it a background color. Like if I make this not invisible. Yeah, see, there it is. It's just that the actual node is invisible. So alright. Well, that's working. So we go back to our curve. Okay, so this needs to have a background color. Background color, and the color is white, like so. And then I want to give it like an image, but I need to feel like a like we want like image node, and then image node I think just holds, you know, it has all sorts of stuff. Image node, right? So color, image, texture, flip X, flip Y, texture atlas, react image mode. What's image mode? Image mode. Image node. Okay. Field sketch tile. Okay. I think this is actually going to be a child again. Now, the annoying thing about this is, so this is the easing. We need to somehow flag this as a an easing curve or something. So See, because the thing is, I kind of would want it to be up a level, but anyway. So we have the root, but we don't have access to the world, which means we can't actually modify the root. I mean, there's no reason we couldn't just give it the deferred world. Because again, like the only reason we're really doing that is because we need access to it. So this deferred world, which holds an unsafe world cell. So can I say world dot, oh look, there's a reborrow. Huh. Okay, can I world dot clone you though? I don't think there's a way to clone the world though, that's the issue. I don't see any clone. Then we're going to say maybe like world. So there's an as unsafe world cell. And then there's a different as unsafe world cell. Like we go as unsafe world cell like this. And then we say clone. Like I think that only borrows it, right? Yeah. And then once we cloned it, I don't think we actually need to do this whole world clone back. We can just clone it. World cannot be borrowed immediately. Okay, right. Dot re borrow maybe? I don't know. So anyway, okay, so you obviously so cloning it doesn't lose the lifetime. So let W equal world W2. Right, so we want make W2 and then we want to go W2.clone. So now we have the clone with 2 lifetimes. Okay, so we just call you world. And then we're going to like dot world u. This is exactly what we had before. I'm just trying to work out a better way of doing it. Because what I'm kind of going for is I want it to be. Did I get a closing brace up here? You go on the outside of that, thank you. So we have our world now, world 2, and then we go unsafe hotel. Alright, so how do I get a deferred world though? Deferred new from W2. No. Okay. W2 dot deferred into deferred. Okay. Yep. Okay. So W2 dot into deferred. I'm trying to pass it a deferred world because I think it's safer to pass it a deferred world than it is to pass it a command. Right, and then you get given a deferred world. World deferred world. Like so. I removed all the unsafe. Unsafe. Right. So theoretically, this is actually now safe code in terms of like actual execution here, because we take a copy of the world cell, we then like clone it immutably, use it only immutably, and then turn it back into a deferred. So it's like it's just as safe as it was here because we were only just doing this so that we could access some immutable stuff. But like once we get to here, it's not mutable anyway. So Right. And then we can go back to our curve, and this lets us do more things, like a deferred. Well, right. Well, so we can like do things instead of doing this. We could say let node equal. So now we get our self, which is to say we go like world.get mute node root dot unwrap. Okay, so we got this, which I don't actually think this matters, but we can say like width equals this. We need to make it immutable, and height equals this, right? So now we've made it 200 by 200, and then we can say we like world dot commands dot spawn so we want to go like probably like left center bottom. I get how it works. It might be center bottom. Right, I don't remember. There's a pattern to this stuff. So we know it's 200 by 200, so we can say this is going to be like left. So we're going to go node width is going to be like 20. Val percent 10. Its height is val percent 90, I would think, but I don't know. Maybe it should be 100. Do like 100. I don't know how this will wrap, but anyway. And I think we can dot default this, and then we have a background color is color linear RGB 1, right? So this would be our left. It's also it's not is spawn, but it's like this. And then we go child of root. Right. So we set root to being 200 by 200. Then we spawn this in, and then we say it might be smarter to go commands dot entity root dot spawn with child with children, and then this takes in a func that is p e, and then it's p dot spawn, something like that. And I don't think you need the child of, and then you need to go first off your curly brace, your semicolon. Right, so that's one of the children, and then we can like copy, paste, and then we just need to theoretically tweak. I don't know why my format stopped working. Because it doesn't call us format on save anymore because I lost that bit of code. God damn it. Alright, so then this one would become 90 by 90, and it's going to be green. So this would be our actual like core section, and then this is going to be the other one's 100, so this makes this 90 by 10. Right, and then this one is going to be blue. So then when I run this, it should spawn in a box that has a red column down the left side, a blue column along the bottom, and a green square filling the rest of the space, I think. And so the idea is that I can then like make this an image node with an image, and then we can update that image to represent the curve. So we go F11 and we go, hey, That's not what I wanted. So that tells me, well, we probably actually want to turn on wrap. Node.wrap flex wrap equals flex wrap. Right. The question I have is, does the wrapping actually work how I think it works, which is that it should fill one and then wrap around and fill the bottom of the other, not stick it underneath the other. So we go F11. No, okay. So that's pretty simple though, because that just means we just need to make U the 90 and U the 100. And then that should actually be the right shape. Well, the other option is to add a 10 by 10 and say that that's a 0. Like a 10%, 10%. So we go 11 now. There we go. Now I actually feel like each of these should have like a... So I reckon we spawn that one. Then we go copy this one. Paste this one. We're going to go, you should be both. You should be 10. And you should only be 90. And that should mean that that corner becomes... Yep, that corner. And then we can start adding text to it. So the idea being that we will read what the curve's lowest value is and put it in that. As that thing. So we have 11. Okay, so now we got this one. Right, and then you are going to get text. And it's going to be new, and we're going to say that you are format. And you need to be self dot. Right, we have you as an easy curve. I guess you should be like /0. Right, and then you're going to be self dot sample. Why can't I sample you? Apply. You are an easing curve, yeah? What the fuck does an easing curve have in terms of function? No. Oh, it needs to be a curve. Use curve. Where does that curve come from? Using Bevy math. Okay, so use Bevy math curve. Right, self dot what? Yeah, curve. Thank you, curve. Oh. Well, apparently it's domain. So like let d equal self dot domain. Wait, does domain just not work on a reference? No, it does. Why can't I sample you then? What? Alright, can I say fucking curve? Domain, yeah, self. F64. What do you mean? Maybe it's because it's an F64. But like I'm almost certain that curve implements fucking easing curve T. Easing curve T. Implement T where curve T from Or is it, yeah. Maybe it's because I'm using 64s and they should be 32s. Okay, Bevy on implements 32s. Okay. I don't know why I made them 64s then. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe Bevy already reflects this. Probably, actually. Maybe I can get rid of this. We'll find out. It'll tell us that it's not registered, so it's fine. Right, so we go curve, and we say domain, and then we say d.start. And this needs to be like, I don't know, 2 decimal places, 1 decimal place, 0 decimal places, no decimal places. I actually don't know because it depends on the scale of you. Anyway, maybe we just print the whole thing. So that's the start, 0, and then this one is going to say text new, and this is going to be 1, and then this one here is going to be text new format d.end. Right, and then you just do this, and you go run, and then it should say 0 to 1, 0 to 1, 0 to 1. I guess we'll find out. The one's probably going to be in the wrong spot, but that's because the flex direction is going to be wrong. Oh, didn't like that. Yeah, so we still need to register the easing curve because even though it implements reflect. Wait, no, it's because our reflected fucking curve is. I caught that. Is it? Yeah. This is an easing curve that is the wrong type. Your action F32. So it's saying that Bevy doesn't doesn't do the F30 64s, but like it also doesn't actually implement F64s. Okay, let's try that with the F11. There we go. So we got a 1. I don't know where the other piece of text went. I think that 1's not supposed to be there. I think it should be 0, 0, and 1. Where's the other one? Well, let's find it. So it's test widget. And then the test widget has a bunch of children, and then this child has some text, and that text has 1. So if I say this is now 2, yeah. So that child is at the wrong spot. And it's actually, I think this one's going behind that one, which is kind of funny. All right, that should be fine. We'll go back to our curve, and we can go. I think there's like a text layout. When text layout has justify, right. Right. So we're justifying right. Correct. That would be funny to me for some reason. So with our justify content to the right, we can then hopefully when we have 11. Yeah, so this one's getting blocked, but I'm not entirely sure why. Also, I don't know why you're there. Am I putting you on the wrong node? Probably. Yeah, you are on the wrong node. It's this node that gets it. Do it, and then that should put it there. It might end up putting it here, but it should put it there. And then this we just need to turn into an image. Node. And I think we can completely default. Right. And then we need to add a function that we need to flag this and have a function that's in charge of updating this maybe. I do feel like I want to do like a update. I mean, we can plot it. We can do new, and we can have like an update after. But anyway, so we're gonna say like let image equal so we can make the image like way bigger. We can make it like we can just do like 100 because that's percent. So we're gonna say image new fill. So exact extended width 100, height 100, 100, depth 1. Right. Dimension. No. What's the dimensions? Dimensions. Right, fuck you. What are you taking? So texture dimensions 2D. Vec 255 by 4. So it's going to be filled black. And then what do we need? We need a texture format RGB AF R32 float and asset usage What asset usage? What the fuck is it? We'll just call it default, whatever it is. I don't like this because you want like you want a reference and to an array. Okay. So that should give us an image. That's a black image. So then we can go down here and we can say, okay, first off, the background color is no longer green. You're an image node. We need to say let image handle equal world resource assets add image. And then we go down here and we say that you are image handle. Don't even clone it, just put the actual handle. Right. Oh, I don't know how I ended up there, but when we run this, we should have 11 and it should just be a black square now. So we removed its background color, we filled it with a black square. It's 100 pixels by 100 pixels. We can then I'd prefer a white square, but it's a little bit more annoying to make a white square than a black square. Ooh, didn't like that. Okay, so pixel left does not match pixel right. Oh, because it's you're 32, so it makes you 16, which makes it even more annoying to make it white. See, because it'll end up being transparent if we just do all zeros. Apparently it's transparent now. Texture. So we need a world inspector, then we go to like, it's this one. You have an image, yeah? You're an image node, and you have an image. Yeah, so you have a texture. I don't know why it's invisible. Oh, because 255, fuck you. 255 is NAND for a God damn it. All right. Color white dot to array. To linear dot array. Array. DU8 array. Right. So that should do it. So we were basically setting all the colors to nan. because or infinity, one or the other. I think it's nan. I think if everything's 255, it's nan. Basically, we can bring that up just to explain to people that don't know floats. So F32 bit visualizer. Yep, 754. IEEE 754. NAND. So because we had the 255, so infinity, negative infinity. But basically, because these bits are all set to 1, it's NAND. Actually, technically it was negative infinity. Where's the fucking one that lets you? There's one that actually lets you like play it. Yeah. If I said like, hey, let's just tick every single one of these. As soon as I tick all of these, it should go nan. Yeah. Well, actually, this is negative infinity. But as soon as you tick one of these are nan, and then like theoretically they said that you could use these bits to represent the different nans. Like because I ticked all of when they're all ones, then it's just nan, and therefore not an image. Oops. Just took F11 on the wrong window. It didn't like that either. So you're saying, okay, to array, to U8 array, okay, to F32 array, to array. Nope. Okay. Fine. So we would go something like this and go 1 dot to array 2 bytes. Four times dot flatten as flattened. Possibly. Does that not work? Cannot call method 2 bytes on you're a 1F32. Anyway. Does that make them all ones? Actually, never mind. It's all white that's the easy one to do, not all black. Anyway. It's still invisible. A piece of shit. Why? Why you do this? As flatten. Why no image? Can you see the image? Image node, no picture. But I think that's more conflict here. Why can I not see it? My question. Image dot set color at 0 0 color linear RGBA 1 1. Maybe it can be higher than 1. I don't know. I wouldn't imagine it does, but We should probably also say like dot unwrap, because if this fails, it implies I'm doing something wrong somewhere else. But didn't really do anything. Wait, is that a tiny colored pixel at the top there? Did it work in terms of that regard? I think that worked actually, because I think that's a single colored pixel, which implies that this is filling it with not white. All right. When we set color rate, it's probably actually multiplying it by 255 and actually be filling it with 255, which would be even more fucking bizarre. But anyway, when at F11, that looks like a single white pixel to me. So we're going to like follow this chain and go set color at, and then it goes, hey, yeah, set color internal at integer, and then so pixel byte mute coordinate out of bounds. Okay, format. Right. So it said that it's RGBA float. Too little endian byte. Oh. That work? Little endian bytes? Alright. Apparently it uses the opposite fucking format. Well, actually, that makes sense, because I think most CPUs are little endian, but it's only the internet that's big endian. Hey, there we go. Alright, so now we have this. These technically don't need to be this colored, but like, you know, we'll fix that later. Right, so next is to go, we go for x in 0 to 100. 100. We're going to set the color app. We're going to say let y equal self.sample. Yep. X as f32 divided by 100. Technically, the correct thing to do would be times by 0.002. It's just times by 0.01. Okay. Why? Oh. Sample a point in the curve at the parameter t, none if the point is outside the curve's domain. What? Oh. Well, that's interesting. Wait a second. Does the easing curve just return 0 and 1? Because technically that's their domain. Easing curve? Yeah, okay. You just return 0 and 1. That's funny. Okay, whatever. We can sample unchecked. I don't care. Sample uncheck. Ta-da! Okay. Not actually what I want then. Because the easing curve domain is 0 to 1, which is the bottom. But technically, because any curve is acceptable, we're going to make this work for any curve, as we could replace where we have 1 with the domain. But I need to go back to the easing curve. Be like, but how the fuck do I get access to your start? Excuse me, like, but like, why is it once I've set you? That's annoying. Because that's kind of saying like I have to run through. Now, because it's an easing curve, I know it's 0 to 1, but theoretically we could take the domain and actually calculate how much a step should represent. We could then run through it once, work out what our minimum and our maximum is, run through it again, and work out what. It's so gross. Anyway, for now, it's just 0 to 1 curves. Set color at Right. So y is sample this times by 100. And then we say we pass in x and y as usize, and then we pass in zeros. Right, like that, and go run. This should then plot our curve. Now, elastic means it's actually going to go off the top, which is going to cause it to crash, I believe, because we're setting pixels beyond the bounds of the image. Yes, okay, because it went up to 106. Right, so this is where we make some generic code. So the idea is that we want to go through once. So we want to say let x step equals self.domain dot length. Right. That makes sense because that's basically saying the domain. I'm assuming the length is get the length of the interval. So basically, if we take yeah, so we check the domain. We say if the domain is from that the length is basically the space between the two, and then we multiply that by 0.01, which is divided by 100. So over 100 steps, we start from the bottom of the domain and we go to the top of the domain. Let x start equals self-domain.start. Right. Then we say for x in this, and we say let x equal x start plus x times x step. Then we can pass in x. Well, sx, because sx is like sample x. So we say, let me tell you, your x is sx. But we have to do this twice. So we have to say let min equal well, I guess we're going to say let res equal vec with capacity 100. Then we say res dot push self dot sample clamp seems like a good idea. But anyway, sample unchecked x. I gotta go help with something. I will be back. I just want to finish this function. So the idea is that we say xx and res 100. So we push the samples. Then we're going to do the colors. So we're going to say for x, y in res dot into iter dot enumerate, and then we set color, which is 100 minus y times 100. No, you're just y, but we need to work out what y is. So you don't do this. And you go okay. So let min equals f32 infinity, and then let max equals negative infinity, and then we say let r equal sample this. So we push r when you're making mute. Mute. Right. So then we say that min equals the min, max equals max. Right. And then we go down here and we set the colors and we say let range equal max minus min. me select y equal y minus min divided by range. And then we say y times 100. And then we go, did that work? Okay, let me go F11. No. So that's still allowed for Y100. Right. -1. I'm concerned this is going to let me get to -1. So maybe I'm supposed to be multiplying by 99. Nope, there it is. Look, no. Huh. I mean, it worked. We can plot the curve now. Theoretically, we want to go like maybe const curve samples, and we're like, let's say like 1,000 samples. So it's curve sample. Okay, so you're U32 because everything's going to be U32. Going curve sample. Well, you're not, but as U size, and then curve sample. Right. Okay. I run this, and now there's 1,000 samples. Should mean that it doesn't have such big gaps between the dots, and because we're then squishing it back into the same space because we're giving it an image and it's making the image fit, it shouldn't actually make the box any bigger. Okay, so something went terribly wrong over there. Are we not? We're not multiplying something by the right amount somewhere. One of these 100s didn't get yet. Curve sample. Right. So I think we're not stepping that back up. I don't see any 100s left. We do F11 and go, nope, it's not there. God damn it. Something's not getting divided by the right amount. So, yes. No, so you're divide by curve sample. So hopefully the compiler will see this and correct it rather than me having to manually correct. This one only did the math once. This one only gets one. Alright. Effectively, we just need to sample smaller amounts of X. Hey, okay. So annoyingly, that's made our dots smaller without necessarily filling in the curve anymore. They should have been closer together. I don't quite know why the dots have got further apart. It's probably because it's physically smaller. Maybe we can make the dots larger. So when we do this, we can say like, I guess it's like for I in 0 dot, or like -1 to 1. For j, and then you just do like x plus I, y plus j. Right, and the idea being that effectively that's probably going to crash because yeah, it's going to sample outside. So we need to then like dot clamp between 0 and curve sample -1. Right, and then you're the same thing. We need to say, hey, you do that, then clamp between 0 and curve samples -1. There's I32. It's like a terrible way of doing it. Anyway, all that that's doing is just making sure that we like don't draw too much. So I'm just drawing the pixel slightly wider. F9. Is F9 might close the game button? Apparently so. There we go. So it's more just that like Bevy's not rendering it because the dots were getting too small. So when it's pressing it down, I think the smarter thing maybe would be to interpolate over as well. So sample one over and then draw all the lines between those 2 points. But anyway, you can see the bang. So now we can plot curves. Yeah, I gotta go help. So I'm gonna have to end the stream early. But I'll continue working on off stream and like kind of let you change curves, let you change values, that kind of thing. Thank you for tuning in for today, and I will see you